All right, I need to talk about Manchester United's transfer window. Because honestly, and I am trying really hard to be fair here, it is becoming an embarrassment. Let me give you the full picture of what has happened in the last few weeks. Because when you lay it all out together, it is genuinely difficult to watch as a United fan. City spent £116 million on Elliot Anderson, a British transfer record, their first signing under a new manager. A statement that tells the entire Premier League, we are serious, we are not going anywhere, and we are coming for everyone. United's response: sign Santos from Chelsea for £50 million as their second-choice target after missing out on Anderson. And then tonight, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano himself just hours ago, United's deal for Ederson from Atalanta has completely collapsed. Deal off, finished, done. So let me get this absolutely straight. United have lost their primary midfield target to City. Their secondary midfield target's deal has just fallen apart hours after it seemed certain to happen. And their only confirmed signing so far this summer is a player who could not even nail down a regular starting spot at Chelsea.
Are you serious right now, bro?
This is Manchester United, entering the Champions League next season. Supposed to be a new era under Michael Carrick. Come on, let me start from the beginning, because you need the full context to understand just how bad this is. Last summer, not this summer, last summer, United signed Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig for £74 million. That was actually a genuinely smart piece of business. Sesko is 23 years old, 1.95 meters tall, and has everything you want in a modern striker. Pace, physicality, technical quality, and a finishing ability that reminds you of the very best. His first half of the season under Amorim was inconsistent. Opportunities were limited. Confidence was low. And there were genuine questions about whether United had made a mistake. Then Carrick arrived in January and everything changed. Carrick immediately placed his faith in Sesko, and the striker responded with a string of brilliant performances in the second half of the season. He finished with 11 Premier League goals, and that was in half a season, with a slow start and a new manager to adapt to. So Sesko staying is a big tick. That part of United's summer gets full marks. Everything else, though, that is where it gets uncomfortable. Let me talk about Elliot Anderson, because this is the one that really stings, and I think it needs to be said loudly. Elliot Anderson is now the most expensive British player in history. £116 million. Manchester City's first signing under new manager, Enzo Maresca. A player who, according to analysts, has better off-the-ball metrics than Declan Rice and is more efficient in possession than present-day Rodri. Let that sink in. Better than Declan Rice off the ball. More efficient than Rodri. At 23 years old. United wanted him. Carrick wanted him. Every single United fan with eyes wanted him after watching him tear the team apart earlier this season. 9 recoveries in one match against United. Complete dominance of the midfield. The man basically turned up at Old Trafford and handed in his own transfer application in front of 74,000 people. City made Anderson their top summer priority. They had 2 bids rejected by Nottingham Forest.
Liar!
They kept pushing. They kept negotiating. And eventually they got their man for £116 million. That is what a club with ambition looks like. That is what it looks like when an ownership and a board back their manager completely and say, tell us who you want and we will go and get them. United identified the same player. And when the price got serious, when it became clear this was going to cost over £100 million, they moved on. They went to Chelsea and bought Santos instead for £50 million. I understand the financial argument. I genuinely do. United cannot spend recklessly, and the ownership have been clear about financial responsibility. But here is the problem with that argument. You cannot tell United fans that this is a new era of ambition, and then watch City break the British transfer record on the exact player your manager wanted while you buy the second choice option for less than half the price. It does not add up. And the fans can see that. Now let me talk about André Santos, because I want to be fair to this signing before I criticize it. Santos is 22 years old. He has 28 Premier League appearances for Chelsea. He is technically gifted, he works hard, and he has the kind of energy in midfield that Carrick will want to build around. He could absolutely prove people wrong and become a real player for United. But here is the honest truth. He was not a guaranteed starter at Chelsea. He has not established himself as someone who walks into a top 6 side and immediately makes them better. He is a player with potential, and potential is not the same thing as proven quality. Kobbie Mainoo needs a partner in midfield who is ready right now. Not in 2 years' time when Santos might have figured it out. Not a project. A partner. Someone who comes in on day one and makes Mainoo better, makes the team better, and gives Carrick the midfield control he needs to compete in both the Premier League and the Champions League. Santos might get there, but he is not there yet. And buying a player who might get there is not good enough when you are about to face Real Madrid and Bayern Munich in Europe. And then came the Ederson news. United agreed a fee with Atalanta. £35 million plus add-ons. Ederson agreed personal terms. A 4-year contract was prepared and ready to sign. The medical had begun. And then Fabrizio Romano posted those words that every United fan dreads: deal off. Collapsed, done. The reason being reported is a meniscus injury that Ederson suffered last summer. United requested extra intensive medical tests after Brazil were eliminated from the World Cup. Those tests apparently raised enough concerns that United decided to walk away from the deal entirely. Now look, if Ederson is carrying a serious knee injury, then pulling out of the deal is the right and responsible thing to do. You do not spend £39 million on a player who might be one challenge away from a long-term injury. That is sensible business, and I will not criticize United for protecting themselves. But here is the problem that nobody wants to say out loud. United now have a massive hole in their midfield. Casemiro is gone. Manuel Ugarte suffered an ACL injury at the World Cup and is facing months on the sideline. Ederson is not coming. Anderson went to City. United are going into the Champions League with Kobbie Mainoo and André Santos as their midfield. That is it. That is what they have right now. Against Real Madrid. Against Bayern Munich. Against Barcelona and PSG. The reports suggest United will now pursue Manu Kane from Roma or Alex Scott from Bournemouth as alternative targets. Kane has been impressive for France at this World Cup. Scott is an interesting option. But neither of them were the plan. They are the backup to the backup. And that is the story of United's summer in one sentence. Backup to the backup. I want to end by being fair to Michael Carrick, because none of this is his fault. Carrick walked into a disaster in January and performed a miracle. He turned a squad that was heading for mid-table obscurity into a Champions League qualifying side in 4 months. He won the fans over, won the players over, and won the football world over with the quality and consistency of his performances. He deserves to be backed. He deserves the players he identified. He deserves an ownership that matches his ambition with real money and real decisions. What he has got so far is Anderson going to City, Ederson falling through, and André Santos as his only confirmed midfield signing. That is not backing your manager. That is letting your manager down before his first full season has even started. The window is open until September 1st. There is still time to fix this. Kane or Scott or someone else might come through in the next few weeks and change everything. But right now, tonight, Manchester United's transfer window looks exactly like what United fans have been fearing since the moment Carrick was confirmed as permanent manager: reactive, slow, missing out on the targets that matter, settling for second best. Carrick deserves better. The fans deserve better. And if the board do not sort this out before the window closes, the new era at Old Trafford is going to face some very uncomfortable questions before it has even properly started. What do you think? Are United letting Carrick down this summer, or is there still time to fix the window? Drop your opinion in the comments. I read every single one, and like and subscribe for more.